Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This is part 4 of the S2000 upgrade video. And if you haven't been following along, the first one was the exhaust. We removed the Tanabe medallion exhaust and installed the HKS power, high power single. The Tanabe medallion was a dual, so I'm going to a single exhaust now. And part 2 was part of the fuel system upgrades. We removed the stock fuel pressure regulator and then installed an AEM adjustable fuel pressure regulator along with the radium engineering gauge. And part 3 was the flex fuel sensor install. We mounted it right here on the shock tower on the driver's side. Looks pretty nice. And part 4 is going to consist of installing this Haltech IO expander. We have some wiring here. Should be enough wiring. And it's a 3-pin connector going to that sensor. It's a continental sensor. So I'm in this video you won't see the crimping of the wires because I don't have the Delphi weather pack connector or crimper. So I'm just going to kind of get the wires ready and leave them right there by the sensor, and then whenever I get to the tuner, then he's going to crimp them for me. Then we'll just plug it in and be ready to go. But anyway, we have the like I said, the wires, the connector, this CAN cable to communicate from this IO expander by Haltech. I'm going to communicate via this cable to the Platinum Plug-in Pro series ECU. So we're going to be running some wires from the sensor through the firewall and right here where the ECU is at by my foot. And after that, I think we should be ready. A dyno video is coming soon, so subscribe if you want to check it all out. And let's go ahead and let's get started on all this. Okay, so we made access to the Haltech ECU, and you see some of my old wiring for the wideband. And I'm going to try to get this out of the way. Should just pull right out. Looks like this is where that CAN cable is gonna plug into, and I have to figure out where I'm gonna put that. But anyway, let's do this first. Let's figure out where we're gonna try to go in with the 3 wires I have. So we can get these wires. Okay, so we got our 3 colors here, 3 wires. Now we gotta figure out where can we go through the firewall. I'm gonna have to get in there, try to find out. Alright you guys, I think you guys can see this. This is my wideband O2 sensor cable. Apparently I had ran it through, or ran it above the throttle pedal. So there's still enough slack in the hole where I can still stick some wires through there. But first, I'm gonna have to tape these wires together. I tape these wires together here. That way they don't get all tangled up on me. So let's go ahead and get some electrical tape and tape them together. That way we can start making our harness. Alright, so we got our wiring harness kind of sort of put together. I have some wiring loom that I'm going to use to cover it up. I'm going to stick it through the firewall first. That way it's a little bit easier. Alright, so that's not as easy as it looks. We're gonna have to come around this way. Alright guys, so this is my wideband O2 sensor wire. And I'm trying to get these wires through here, so let's see if we can have some success through this side. Alright you guys, got the wire pulled through the firewall, got the grommet back on, and now we're going to kind of clean this area up a little bit, kind of finish up under the hood. Have some wire loom, I'm going to put some wire loom over the wire, and I'm going to kind of run it along here. Probably go underneath the fender, just to kind of hide it a little bit, and then we'll terminate the wires right here at the sensor. So let's let some of this wire loom on and get it all taped up and ready to go. I was thinking about buying some neon colored wire loom to get that ricer look. What do you guys think? Should I pull this out, change it later? We'll just tuck this underneath here, underneath there, and we'll leave these wires right here until we get them connected, and we'll throw some tie straps on here to kind of hold it all together. Can't even tell. Alright, so let's move to underneath the dash. Now that we're underneath the dash, we can slide the wire loom on to this side of the harness. Then we could also figure out a path to run the harness underneath, which will probably be alongside of this wideband cable. So let me go ahead and slide this wire loom on and we can figure out the wiring. Okay, I think this would be a good place to cut the wiring harness. Should have enough slack there to go anywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and snip it right here. I'm gonna go ahead and tie wrap this harness to the cable so it be out of our way. Okay, so we got the Haltech CAN cable. We're going to open it up and plug it into this side of the ECM and the other end to this side. Alright, so this is a little wiring diagram I made. I don't want to go through it, it'll take a little while, but it's not much of a circuit anyway, but I did a little research on it and figured out what I needed to do. I had to run power and stuff like that, so it's no big deal. I might be missing one of these, I'm not sure yet. I'll have to look at it closer. Kind of forgot already, but anyway, just gonna follow this and I guess I wire it all up. So yeah, let's go ahead and cut this and see what we got. Alright guys, so I kind of made a mistake. This gauge wire is going to be a little bit too big for the connectors that I have. So what I'm going to have to do is find some old wire laying around. I have some in the attic from the Civic. It's the floor harness or something like that. It's one of those harnesses. I'll have to cut some strands out, or not strands, I'll have to cut some wires out and splice them onto these ends. That way it'll be the right size gauge wire, which is no big deal. At least it'll give me more color options, correct color options, hopefully. gonna be it, you guys. A little bit of bonus footage for you also. Installed this cooling plate from Castro JDM. But anyway, this concludes part 4 of the S2000 upgrade. Part 5, we should be going to the dyno. I've already talked to the tuner and we kind of got a game plan already. So stick around till next time. Let's see how much power this car makes. Thanks guys.